Now, the situation I'm going to be using will be in an interview. Now, very often we give situations where interview your other partner in the class, asking different questions. What I want to do today is to look at questions that are asked in interviews for jobs and how we can break down the answer so that you can think about it very clearly, step by step, in a logical way that gives clear examples of your answer. So an interview question that might be faced by anybody, any of us, could be, can you give me an example of a time when you had to face change and how you dealt with it? Now a student might think, I haven't worked anywhere, how can I deal with this question? But if we break it down into what I call STAR, that's situation, task, action, result. If you get your students to plan out an answer to that question in using those 4 criteria, they can then build up a very clear and logical answer. Let me give you an example. So for example, how did I face change? So I'm a student, I haven't worked before, but I went from school to university. So let's look at that. The situation was I was at school and I was finishing my exams and I knew I had to go on to university, or I wanted to go on to university. So my task was that I applied for university, I went for interviews and I applied for as many as I could and the ones that I wanted to. The action that I did was sending off my applications. I worked very hard to get the highest grades that I could, and I wanted to make that change from college to university. The result is because of my hard work on my exams and the results that I got, it meant that I got a great place in the first university of my choice. Your students in work might face a situation like this in an interview where they can give an example such as, let's say the situation was I was working for a company and this was taken over by a much bigger company. My task was to deal with a new team. I had to work with new people that were based in an office in another city. The action that I took was to make sure that communication was very good between the teams, so that there was always a flow of communication backwards and forwards, so everybody knew what they were doing and nothing was being repeated or forgotten. The result of this was that my managers were very pleased with what I had done and they rewarded me with a new higher position and a bonus as well. By giving these examples, I've broken it down into simple logical steps and given a very clear example that somebody can easily understand and evaluate as well. In Open Mind, you'll find more examples of interview questions and how to handle them that you can use with your students in class.